Well, hello, this is an impromptu little vlog and history of Woolrich. I had to come here to the Woolrich Community Center to bring my daughter for a dance recital rehearsal, and I haven't been here in years, probably about 20 years, but I think I'm actually the one that suggested it to the dance teacher because I recalled that it had an interesting and nice gymnasium with a little stage, and it is so cute. It's so old-fashioned, and if you know me, I love old-fashioned things. Anything that says 1930s, 40s, 50s, just love so much. So when I pulled up and I saw the cornerstone that this building was built in 1948, and then I took her in there and I just started seeing interesting things, I decided to do a vlog. Just have to make a video of this room because it's called the Ladies Lounge inside of the Woolrich Community Center, and it is so old-fashioned. It even smells old-fashioned, and I just have to show you. Look at this old-fashioned chair, which I actually love. Look at that. And this marble top table. They have art supplies on, which I cannot believe because that would be a table that's worth something, I think. Another one. And then a beautiful glass front bookcase. And look how pretty that is. And this old-fashioned couch, which feels like velour. The draperies look like they're from the 1950s. They're pretty fabric. This piano. And then look at these chairs. Oh my gosh. Those are actually really pretty. And then of course I love the fireplace. Let me see if I can show you the fireplace. Look at that. They probably don't actually use it. It looks like they haven't done anything in here since Christmas time because they've still got I'm filming this in May and they have a Christmas tree. Although maybe that was decorated for Valentine's Day because it's full of hearts. And then this rocker, super neat, very low, and another old-fashioned couch. And then this beautiful bookcase. I just love this. Look how pretty that is. And then I love these menorahs. I'm surprised they have. And then this says the Woolrich Women's Society of Christian Service Memorial Members in honor of those who have contributed valuable service to the community. And of course it has a lot of ladies with the last name Rich, since that's the name of the family that started Woolrich. And here's another beautiful marble top table. Again, with things on it that don't necessarily belong on a marble top table. Here's the nursery. This building was built in 1948, and you can tell. I love it though. I love the charming wood floors. See, there is a gymnasium. There's a dance recital going on. Let's go up here and see what there is to see. No light, so it's a little bit dark. Looks like I love old-fashioned children's chairs like these. Oh, they're so cute. They're so cute. Oh, and look at this built-in. It's probably hard to see with no light. Let me see if I can find a light. Oh, there we go. Look at this. I love this. Oh my gosh. This has been here forever. You can tell. Look at the back. I love that. Beadboarded back. And then what's in here? Oh, a little chapel. Again, with no light. But a beautiful stained glass window. I actually love these kind of pendant lights in chapels and churches. And it's got this really pretty wooden altarpiece. Look at this. I just found this back hallway. And look, it has an old-fashioned ladder hanging here for in case of fire escape. This talks about the directors of the Woolrich Woolen Mills, incorporated 1930. Successor of John Rich and Brothers, founded in 1830. Look at this big, gigantic, old-fashioned range. Oh my gosh, I love it. Here we go, the Woolrich Community Building, architects Winter and Fink from Philadelphia, and the contractor Lundy Construction Company, Williamsport, PA. At the time, R.H. Lundy was the president. E.M. Jonas was the general manager, and J.W. Lundy was the secretary. Anyway, this looks like, I guess this is from when it was built. And then down here in the lower level is another gym. I don't want to take video of people. So let's see. Oh, the bowling lanes. Let me see if I can show you this. Oh no, it's locked. Let's see. Yeah, in there they have old-fashioned bowling lanes. Oh my gosh, I'll see if I can get a video of it better. You know what, I forgot there was a little library in here somewhere. And look, here's the book drop. Isn't that so cute? And there's this sweet display of books about spring. Spring into a good book, let your imagination bloom. I actually love this house. I hear water, so we're gonna head to it. I love this kind of Japanese red maple. I think at one time this building was the original offices for the Woolrich factory. And I think one of the founders lived in this house at one time. Just pretty house, beautiful. Has a porte cochere. And it's for sale. If you have any interest in moving to Woolrich, PA. Here's another beautiful house. This one's more of like a Queen Anne Victorian style house, I believe. love the turret. The wraparound porch. Beautiful azalea in bloom. And of course, this hedge. And the euonymus. Oh, look how gorgeous that is. Look at that sweet little balcony out there. Oh, I love that. And this house I've always admired as well. Look over here. I love houses with cupolas and weather vanes. And that really neat garage, which would have been a coach house at some point, it looks like. Another beauty. Oh, look at this sidewalk. I love it. I love these steps. Here's another beautiful house. All of this at one point would have been the people, the executives of the Woolrich factory, because we're coming upon it right here. Sadly, Woolrich went out of business. I have a postcard from years ago, and I'm going to try to take a shot to see if we can compare and contrast. This is Mill Street. Sadly, no more mill. Before the factory closed, this would have been where the offices were. It's funny, I hear something over there as if something is on, some piece of equipment. Oh, here it is. The iconic Woolrich logo, established 1830. Anyway, I hear something like noises in that factory. As if something's on. In grateful memory, 1971, to those who served their country in the armed services, dedicated by the founders and management, Woolrich Woolen Mills, 1971. Oh, do you see up there? Right there. Glass is all different colors. It's very beautiful. It's a little bit eerie being here at this factory that is no more. You know, because back in the day, all of this whole parking lot would have been just filled with cars. And this whole factory would have been humming with people making Woolrich clothing, Woolrich blankets. And it's sad that is no more. Just spotted these interesting buildings over here, and I have to go see. It says no trespassing, employees only, but of course no one's here. I wonder how long these buildings have been here. Well, it's for rent if you need a building. I'll have her. Really fascinating. They look ancient. Look, that slides. Window that slides open. These doors slide open. There's another one over here. this one looks like it had the doors replaced. Another section of the factory, I guess. Soda machines that no one uses anymore. Now this would be the neighborhood of houses that were built, company houses. If you travel down here, probably back in the early to mid 1900s, these houses would have been built for employees of the Woolrich factory. The green and red. The owner just pulled in, so I have to stop filming. This house I've always loved. Can you guess why? That's right, a rounded door. It's just so sweet. Based on the description of a friend of ours, I know the person who lives here, although I've never seen it before. I mean, I've seen it years ago, obviously. I haven't seen it since they moved here, but it's cute. The style of house would be called a shotgun house because you could stand at the front door and shoot all the way through it. It's about the same width as most townhouses. Anyway, it's right next door to the Woolrich post office, which if you want your address to say Woolrich, Pennsylvania, you have to get your mail delivered to the post office. Of course, with the factory closed and the store closed, I'm not sure where the charm is of a Woolrich address. Because here, sadly, is another closed entity. It's like ghost towns from out west. See, the original outdoor clothing store. You used to be able to get some good deals on some Woolrich clothing here, and they had a fantastic sewing section. So if you like to sew, you could get offcuts of their fabrics. This is sweet, a little fountain turned planter. And what do we have here? Take a book, leave a book. An Eagle Scout project. Chocked full with books. And a cute little bench. Wow, more people are leaving books than taking books, it looks like. Oh, look, here we go, ancient Greece. Wow, this leave a book, take a book library is chocked full. Look how many books are in there. I've never seen one so full. Oh, there's a golden book. Let's see what it is. Dr. Dan, the Bandage Man. And look how old-fashioned it is. Oh my. I think this might be going home with me. Thank you, Ryan Lombardi's Eagle Scout project from 2022, Woolrich Troop 66. Right next door to what used to be the original outdoor clothing company store is the Woolrich Park, And if you're into hiking and you've ever thought about doing the Mid-State Trail, it's a trail that goes straight through the middle of Pennsylvania and runs north to south. The route takes you right through Woolrich. You actually have to walk up Park Avenue. And in the park is a shelter. You know, like one of those kind of camping shelters that are enclosed on 3 sides and open on one side. Oh, look, here it is. Speak of the devil. Mid-State Trail. HikeMST.org for more information. And this little cabin I've always loved, and I have to come look at it with you. Look how cute that is. It says, "Smile, you're on camera. Smile, you are too." The log building, built by Johannes Ziegler in 1820, was used as a church near Ziegler Cemetery. In 1930, it was disassembled and reassembled in the Woolrich Park, called the Ziegler Museum, with many artifacts on display during the Woolrich Woolen Mill 100 Years celebration, July 25th, 26th, 27th, 1930. Says Woolrich Park is maintained in honor of founders and management of the Woolrich Woolen Mills for the benefit of their employees and the community of Woolrich, PA. Can anybody think of a bigger company town where there was a beautiful park built for their employees? If you guessed Hershey Park, you were right. Oh, look, here it is. I don't know if you can see, but straight ahead. I'm not going to walk all the way back there because I need to go pick up my daughter. But there's an orange, what do you call those? Blaze on the tree. And then over there, you can see the shelter. Well, this concludes our tour of good old Woolrich, Pennsylvania. So I started this vlog a few weeks ago when my youngest daughter had a dance recital. And it's a good thing I didn't come back and finish it right away, because I would have told you that Woolrich no longer exists. But in the interim, we hosted some good friends of ours whom we met when we both lived in Woolrich. And they lived in a beautiful Victorian style house that had actually been moved from down on a main street in Woolrich up to the hill where it currently sits. Of course, it was moved years ago. Anywho, it was through conversing with her about Woolrich and how sad it is that the Woolrich factory closed and the store closed that I found out that you can still buy Woolrich. She and her husband live in Tennessee now, and she was telling me there's a mercantile store that they enjoy visiting where there is Woolrich. So I went to the handy internet and looked it up, and sure enough, Woolrich still exists, just not in Woolrich, Pennsylvania, which is where it began in 1830 when John Rich, who was an immigrant along with his parents from Liverpool, England, moved to the woods of Pennsylvania, and he, along with Daniel McCormick, started a woolen company. They built their first mill along Little Plum Run, and in the 1840s, when the water supply was dwindling, they moved to the location along Chatham's Run, which I showed you the rushing water earlier in the vlog. And that, obviously, the mill that they built in the 1840s isn't the one that we see today, but it is still the same location. And they bought 300 acres, and that is where the company town of Woolrich sprang up. So I'm sitting in the Woolrich Park. When we lived here in Woolrich, we would come up here all of the time. Sadly, we didn't walk up here as a whole family often because there aren't sidewalks all along the Park Avenue road, so it was a bit dangerous to walk with children and strollers. Although I walked on the road almost daily for exercise. So I would come to the park, I'd have to drive up here. I'll show you the little shelter for the Mid-State Trail that I was also talking about earlier in the vlog. And I thought I would just show you a little bit of a vintage Woolrich that I rounded up from the house. So I think I mentioned earlier that my husband and I learned about Woolrich when he worked for an outdoor store called Eastern Mountain Sports. He worked in Gaithersburg, Maryland. It was at the mall that was called Lake Forest Mall. I have no idea if that mall is still there. I do know that the Eastern Mountain Sports store is no longer there because I also looked up Eastern Mountain Sports on the internet, and there appear to only be 6 stores left, and they're all in New England. But anywho, one year, well, that year being 1997, when EMS was celebrating their 30th anniversary, having started in 1967, they gave all of the employees a nice fleece blanket with their logo and the commemoration of their anniversary. And you guessed it, it is a Woolrich blanket. Oh, now where's the tag? Oh my gosh. Oh, here we go. Woolrich. So that was our first introduction to Woolrich. I think we probably both bought a couple of Woolrich clothing items while he worked there. I'll tell you this, Eastern Mountain Sports, out of all of the either retail that either my husband worked for, I worked for, or any relative I've known who worked for retail, Eastern Mountain Sports had the best employee program. You could get 50% off of Eastern Mountain Sports brand things and 30% off of everything else. So we could get Woolrich products for 30% off when he worked there. So again, I have no idea. This is one of his shirts. I don't know if he got this when he worked at at EMS, or if he got it when we moved here to Woolrich. We would frequently come up and shop at the Woolrich outlet store. And I learned in looking up to see if Woolrich is still around that at one point 400,000 people would visit the Woolrich store as a destination. I mean, if you're familiar with this area, right here where Woolrich is, there's not a lot around. Obviously, if you go east, you're going to run into Williamsport, which is known for Little League Baseball and the beautiful historic homes, a lot of history surrounding the Underground Railroad. If you go southwest, about 50 minutes, you're going to run into State College, Pennsylvania, which you'll probably be living under a rock if you haven't heard of Penn State University, I guess. But right here, there's not a lot. So, you're only coming here because either A, you're hiking the Mid-State Trail, or B, you were making your way for the Woolrich outlet store. Which is just another reason why it's so sad that it's closed. So they shut their doors in May of 2023, so it's just been a little over 2 years. Now I absolutely love these pants. I found these at a antique mall, probably about 10 or 11 years ago. And these would be vintage Woolrich. They've even got the old logo. And I bought them for myself because I thought, these will be perfect to wear during the winter. And they are so warm, and they are big enough that they fit over my normal pants, so I don't have to change. And this wouldn't be the traditional buffalo plaid, which is what Woolrich came to be known for, but this is one of their popular plaids. Here's a vest, which is Woolrich. Interestingly, the tag is ripped out, so I'm not sure why or what happened to that, where I got that, if I bought it at the Woolrich. You know what I probably did? Back in the day, they would have a factory sale once a year, and it would only be, you know, on a certain day or two, and you would have to come and stand in line behind the factory, and then you would go into the factory and things would be, you know, ridiculously cheap. That's probably where I got this vest. It says Woolrich on the back collar. Oh, I'll tell you about this. One year when I went there, I found this coat that was absolutely just the most original looking thing ever. It looked like a Pendleton blanket. It was like that cream color, you know, with the green stripe, the red stripe, and the blue stripe. It had a hood. It was kind of like putting on a big blanket, and then it had a tie around the middle. I loved that coat so much, and I got it for only $5, which was a steal. And one year, a couple of years later, a friend of mine, her husband saw me in it, and he actually bent down and he kissed the sleeve, and I thought, oh my gosh, this guy really loves this coat. I didn't wear it that often, so I ended up giving it to him. I kind of regret doing that though, because every so often, you know, if the weather is just right in the autumn, I think, oh, wouldn't that coat just be the perfect thing right now? Anywho, this dress I bought at the Woolrich store once years ago, and I loved it because it was just a simple sheath dress. It was actually a partnership between the Discovery Channel and Woolrich, and it was advertised as just a nice dress for traveling. It had this hidden pocket that zipped up so you wouldn't have to worry about anything. And then lastly is this coat that I actually didn't buy this coat, but I absolutely love it. It's got the traditional Woolrich buffalo plaid label. A friend of mine was working for the Woolrich store probably about, I don't know, probably about 14 or, oh, there's a hummingbird. I wonder if it'll, oh shoot, it came right up behind the camera, and I was hoping it would come in front so you could see it. Oh my gosh, I adore hummingbirds. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, about 14 or 15 years ago, when we still lived in Woolrich, a friend of mine who lived down the street from us was working at the Woolrich store, and of course she got a lot of things for discount. And she bought this coat for herself, and after a while it just felt like it didn't fit her quite right, and so she gave it to me. And it's in such good shape, and I still love it. Whenever I wear brown, I might be putting this on in the winter time. Now, years ago, when we lived in Woolrich, we first moved there, my father-in-law gave us this book. It's called The History of the First 100 Years of Woolrich, so from 1830 to 1930. And I went around the house to try to find it today to show you. And I didn't realize this, but it is actually an autographed copy. It says, or maybe it's not the author. Oh, you know what? It's not the author. It's a relative of the author. So it was written by M.B. Rich. And the inscription says, to Mrs. Eleanor F. Carruthers from Mrs. W. F. Rich, December 13, 1930. And the handwriting is impeccable. I'm going to show you some of the pictures in here so that you can see a picture of John Rich. You can see a picture of what the community center, what building used to be the community center before they built the one that I've already shown you. And then I found this book. I think my father-in-law also gave this to us years ago. It's the Images of America series, Clinton County. And you've probably, if you're into history, you've probably seen these books. They're published by Arcadia Publishers. I love these books. I wish I had more than I do. Because I enjoy them so much. And so of course I went to the shelf to find it, and I was thumbing through to see, is there anything about Woolrich in this book? And there is. So there's a picture, I'll give you a close-up view. And it says it's John Rich VI, a descendant of the John Rich who founded Woolrich Incorporated, claps after he signaled the lighting of the Christmas tree in front of the Woolrich Company store in Woolrich, marking the company's 175th anniversary in 2005. The company honored the over 600 people who work for it by holding the annual holiday open house for employees on November 18th, 2005. My father always said, as long as we have one brick upon another, our employees are first, Rich said at the gathering. And then the Woolrich Company's store Christmas tree was adorned with ornaments made by employees in honor of Woolrich's 175th anniversary. The ornaments are made out of swatches of wool from the mills, and in 2005, the swatches were red and black in honor of the company's anniversary milestone. A baked goods contest also was held. Employees sampled free holiday treats, and outside of the store, they roasted s'mores and ate kettle corn. According to Rick Inslee, Senior Vice President, the gathering was a chance to honor employees right before the company headed into its busy holiday season. And yeah, over the years, the store had actually changed. When we first moved to the area in the late 1990s, you know, the store, you walked in and there were the normal cash registers and then the retail area. And then in the back, which it really was known for, its back room, were like off. So like, you know, items that might not be just right were sold back there for a little bit less. But then they had this magnificent sewing section, which back in the day, before I had as many kids as I currently have, I did enjoy sewing. Mainly I made curtains and pillows and quilts. I only have one quilt left that I actually made, but all of the fabric, every single piece of that quilt, and maybe we can put a picture in right here of what it looks like. All of it came from that sewing room. And I would have made that probably in 2002. So we did a lot with Woolrich, the company store, you know, as far as shopping there. Oh, so then some years later, I forget what year it was. Oh, so, okay. So when you walked into the store, then on the right-hand side was like a big cafeteria style cafeteria with the food. Oh my gosh, I just saw a bluebird. This is, I'm getting distracted by the beauty of nature here. I came here early in the morning for two reasons. One, so that there wouldn't be a ton of people around. And two, so that hopefully there wouldn't be anyone mowing. Although it's been so rainy that I don't know if anyone would be mowing right now. But what's really nice about it is even though it's the middle of June, and normally it would be so hot, it's actually really cool, hence my jacket. And it's just lovely with the bird song and the birds flying around. Anywho, I digress from the Woolrich cafeteria. Oh, so it's just like a, you know, a counter you go up and order. Well, some years later, they did a huge overhaul and they actually bumped the retail store out into what had been the cafeteria and made that kind of like a home goods area where you could buy sheets and blankets and pillows, and it was all very rustic. And then in the middle, they had a pretty sitting area where it was, you know, like leather furniture, like all of that rustic kind of style. And then, so behind it, they turned this little section into the Woolrich Cafe, which was very tiny. It only had, I think, maybe 6 to 10 tables. And at one time, it was run by this cute little lady. She was very tiny, and her husband and their daughter. And she made such delicious food, like chicken corn chowder to absolutely die for. And on Sundays, she would do a lovely dinner meal, which was like roast chicken and stuffing and mashed potatoes and gravy. It was so good. It's making me hungry even thinking about it. But then her husband had some health issues and they had to give it up. So anyway, that's a little trip down memory lane with the Woolrich store. Now I'm just going to take you around and show you, like I said, the shelter. And then I forgot when I was unloading my stuff, that my boys, they both played Little League Baseball just one year with the T-ball, and their home field was right behind us. So I'm going to take you over there to see it. These bleachers are probably the same ones. It looks like they've been here for eons, don't they? This was their field, their home field. Trying to get past the fencing. Here we go. Takes me back. It was nice because both times they played, there were family friends involved with both sets of teams. I don't know if that makes sense or not. So we were able to visit with friends. Between you, me, and the lamppost, I'm glad they didn't really fall in love with baseball. 1 year of Little League was good enough. It says it's proudly maintained by the employees of Woolrich, so I wonder who maintains it now. But they aren't here. So the Mid-State Trail would be right here. Here's the orange blazes for it. So you'd be walking through the Woolrich Park. Get to the shelter. This monument is leaning. So it's kind of hard to see. It says it's the J. Woods Rich Shelter. This Mid-State Trail Shelter is dedicated to J. Woods Rich, an active outdoorsman and president of Woolrich Inc. from 1964 to 1968. Proudly built by the employees of Woolrich. Yeah, look at that. Someone needs to fix that. It's going to fall right over on his face. But here it is. Now, I've never done a long hike, backpacking trip, but I've always been enamored by the idea. Especially like the Appalachian Trail, the Pacific Crest Trail. Is that the name of it? Anywho, I wonder how often this is used. Oh look, there's a registration. My kids used to love to play in here. We still have the big billboard that's been there for years, telling people that 2 miles ahead is the Woolrich store. So there's the sign. Across the field over there is where the company started. I'm gonna take a closer look. So this would be Little Plum Run coming down here. It's a lot of water because we've had a lot of rain. And then over here, you can see in the distance, would be where the original Woolrich company was. So this is the original company, or factory, I guess you would say, along Little Plum Run. And I was told years ago that the porches are slanted so that when they would, after they would make the woolen socks, they would hang them on the porch to dry. I guess you must have to, I'm guessing you would wash them to keep them from shrinking later on. That's my thought process. I don't know. I've never made woolen products before. But either way, the porch is slanted so that the water could run off. And in the time that I've lived in the area, this building has many iterations. At one time it was an antique store, and then it was like kind of like a country furnishing store. Back in 2004, in that bottom door right there, they had a pub, which was really cute. But when Hurricane Ira struck in 2004, all of this was flooded. Like all of this, everything that you can see was completely flooded, and the bottom of that was flooded. So now, based on this sign, it looks like it is Kingdom of Life Ministries. Well, here's the outfit of the day from the Mid-State Trail Shelter. From top to bottom, I have on my normal hat that I wear in the summertime that I love so much. I've told you about. You've seen probably. My silver hoops. Just a simple black V-neck shirt over top of a white tank top. These gray Levi's I bought for my daughter in 2018, but when she got tired of them, they became hand me up. I have on this jacket because, as I mentioned, even though we're in the middle of June, it's rainy and it's chilly. And it's that brand ALO, A-L-O, I guess you say that, ALO. I got it from, I think I just got it at TJ Maxx probably about 20 years ago. And then my shoes are my first pair of Traytorns I bought in my adult life when I wanted a pair of comfortable shoes for walking, but that were cute. So they're not like normal Traytorns. They actually have, they're kind of like an open weave, which makes them interesting. But I like the toe. So there you go. My outfit of the day. Behind me is a nice hill that's behind what used to be the Woolrich company outlet store. And if we would get a large snow back when my boys were little, this is where we would come to sled. So there you go, a little trip down the history of Woolrich, a little trip down memory lane. Thanks so much for watching. You take care.